Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Brian at Valkerion Gaming, and today we're going to talk about Dynasty Warriors Origins. I actually got a chance to check out the demo for Dynasty Warriors Origins at TGS2024, and in my little backlog of videos that I've been making, I got a little bit of a reaction and or impressions of Dynasty Warriors Origins and what I played at TGS. So let's check it out. Dynasty Warriors Origins is the newest entry into the Dynasty Warriors franchise. This is a pseudo-soft reboot. If you know the Dynasty Warriors franchise, it constantly reboots the story every time. It tells a little bit more of the Three Kingdoms era stories and battles, and maybe introduces a few new characters every once in a while as well. But it's a series that kind of has been circling the drain, so to speak, for quite a while. It's not really found a new audience, but it's found its own audience over time, and people who genuinely love the franchise and jump in on every entry. I actually like Dynasty Warriors, but I don't jump in on every new game. But Dynasty Warriors Origin really just kind of jumped out of the gate with a really interesting trailer, and just a really high octane, so to speak, if that is the correct way to use that. Very high octane trailer, and it just really shows that there might be a concentrated effort to get this franchise back on track with its fans, and just, you know, make a better game overall compared to the one that came out last time, which was Dynasty Warriors 9. Anyway, let's jump into what I played of the demo. So actually, I don't have footage of the demo myself. I don't have direct feed footage, and the footage I do have is just kind of like pointed at the screen, and that's not good enough, I don't feel. So we're just gonna chop up some trailers and some screenshots and talk about what I played. So first and foremost, the demo I played was on a PC, but it wasn't a super high-end PC, which kind of not surprised me considering how expensive a gaming PC would be to have here in Japan. But it also kind of bodes well for maybe the overall performance of this game, and you might not need a super high-end 5090, because I'm pretty sure that'll be out by the time this drops, rig to get this game up and running. But that's also something I was a little disappointed by, because in the trailers the visuals are pretty nice, pretty smooth, pretty high quality, and then in the demo they weren't low quality, but you can tell this game could look a little bit better. But that's neither here nor there, because the demo itself ran perfectly smooth, and that's what matters most in a very fast-paced action game like this. So what did I play? The demo at TGS was literally just one stage, and it was a single stage, but it had a few hidden secrets in it if you were able to find them. But overall, the game, it is Dynasty Warriors. This is a Dynasty Warriors game. If you're not a fan of Dynasty Warriors, this might not change your perception of the franchise. It is Dynasty Warriors refined into a way that it should be. That is the way I'll say it. It's not open world. It goes back to the traditional map format of Dynasty Warriors' previous entries before the last one. The map itself in the demo wasn't very big, but you can see in the preview footages that there are some pretty sizable maps here. The basic gameplay is the same as it's always been in Dynasty Warriors. You're comboing with your square and triangle combos, and not much more than that if you're going to talk about the basic controls. Of course, you can ride around on your horse, you can run around and jump and scale some walls and ladders and whatnot to get some base infiltrations going and whatnot. But overall, the general gameplay is that tried and true square, triangle, or whatever controller's equivalent of that action. One thing that is a bit different, and it's something that they've toyed with in other entries, is the arts, is what I believe they're called. Arts are based on whatever weapon you choose, and these are basically just unique attacks for these weapons. So I believe you have a sword, it does like a few sword swipes, and then it knocks everyone away. I was using Guan Yu's spear, the blue dragon, and I don't believe it's called that in the demo. I think it was called Guando or something. I'm not super sure on the names of Chinese things in the pronunciation, so please forgive me on that end. But anyway, the arts were toggleable commands. So you hold down R1 and you can press the face button, and it does one of 4 different attacks. I don't know if these attacks will be customizable or if they're just like 4 different attacks per weapon, or maybe you unlock more. I don't know. The demo didn't have anything like that in it. But yeah, each one did a different thing. Like there was a knockaway attack, there was one that kind of like juggled a single enemy, so that was really good for like enemy commanders, so on and so forth. Like kind of the stuff you would expect from abilities like that. You did get to, now that I said you didn't really get to do any setup, you actually did get to see the traditional Dynasty Warriors setup menu while the stage is loading and whatnot. You can choose your weapon, you can choose your companion who's going to be following you. The companion is one of the named classic Dynasty Warriors heroes, and you yourself are the unnamed protagonist who is called the Wanderer or Stranger, I believe. I think he's called the Wanderer. But yeah, you don't get any story for the Wanderer, you basically just get the setup for the battle. And it was a Yellow Turbans battle. It was not anything crazy in the demo. It wasn't against like Cao Cao or Sun Jian or anything like that, because they were all together. So yeah, I believe it was a Yellow Turbans battle, if I remember correctly. One of the cool things about the gameplay, though, is that Koei Tecmo has been making a variety of Souls-like games with Wo Long and Neo, and there's one more which I'm forgetting the name of, but they've been making those games in between the Dynasty Warriors games, and you can see that they're taking a lot of inspiration from those games, what they made with those Souls-like games. So this game does have a parry, and it does have a perfect parry. So if you tap the block button when an enemy attack is about to land, you can do a parry, and it'll knock their attack away and stun them for a second, and you can press triangle, or whatever the equivalent button that is for your controller, and it will knock them away with a big attack. Or you can, if they have lots of HP or lots of defense, you can keep mashing triangle and it'll do like a big combo before knocking them away, or possibly even defeating them in that little string. So it's a pretty good way to do lots of damage. There's also a very small dodge roll. It has a little bit of invincibility on it, and you can dodge roll in every direction, just like a Souls-like game. The dodge is pretty stumpy. It's not like super big, but pretty satisfying to use the dodge and parry. And that's something I noticed in this demo a lot, was just the general, maybe gameplay, what do I want to say? The general gameplay plan of this game is a little bit more intimate, I would say, whenever an enemy commander or general pops out. Anytime a named enemy comes out, it's not just like just like in the original games, it's you just kind of like wail on them a bit until they go down, but this time they're a bit more dynamic in that they do attacks that are parryable, and the camera kind of shifts angles so you can get like a better view of them. And they're a lot more aggressive than the basic enemies this time around. They're not just like named enemies, but they still have like the basic enemy AI. They're a lot more highly tuned, and they're basically like sub-bosses, if not mini-bosses in some cases, depending on what the character is. So it's pretty neat to kind of have the mechanics kind of flow together in a way that makes sense like this whenever an enemy commander shows up. Also, I will say in this game, when I played the demo, I used healing items quite a lot. You take a lot of damage this time around, so if you thought Dynasty Warriors was a little too easy because it just kind of like plow through everything, this one might have a little bit more pushback, but you do still plow through everything. And then there's the named enemies have like defense. I don't know what it was called exactly. Like some of the stuff in the demo, I just kind of breezed past the in-game terms for. They have like little, basically like a stamina meter, which is represented by little shields under their name or above their health bar, and you have to like kind of whittle away at them using your basic attacks and your ability arts or whatever. And then if you break them, you can do like the just like when you parry, you can do the triangle attack and take off huge chunks of damage, if not huge chunks of their stamina. So it's pretty cool, and once again, it just makes the attacks that much more intimate. And whenever their guard is broken, you can do like a unique attack with that triangle button, and if it defeats them, the attack is even more unique and pretty cool. Just using Guan Yu's spear, he just kind of like knocked everyone away, which was a little disappointing. Some of the other weapons were definitely more flashy, but of course Guan Yu's spear does a ton of spread damage. And of course, the tried and true Musou attack is also here. It does seem like these will be a little flashy, depending on what weapon you're using with the Stranger or Wanderer, whatever he's called. And you can also do team up Musou attacks whenever your enemy allied main characters like Guan Yu and Xiahou Dun and Cao Cao and whatnot are nearby. If you do a Musou attack when they're nearby, you do one with them, which is pretty neat. Another cool thing that is unique to this entry is the tactics. Tactics are controlled abilities for like a little squad of troops that are around you or will be summoned. So you can command them to shoot arrows in a certain area. You can command them to kind of make like a cylinder, or I guess rectangle. That's the better way to say it. You make like a rectangle where they just kind of rush forward in that area. I believe, yeah, there's also, my favorite one was you can kind of get them to gang up on a certain enemy commander. So if you press it while there's an enemy commander while you're fighting them, literally the troops just kind of like jump in and start just ganging up on them, and it's just kind of funny to watch them get stun locked by it. So it's pretty cool. Another cool thing is, I believe the demo called it Force something, maybe Large Force or Giant Force, and that's is what you see in the trailers where like all of the soldiers come rushing together in like looks like a river of soldiers or like a wave of them, and the camera like pans out and you can see like this huge army just like rushing forward. This only happened in the demo at a certain point, at the end of the stage, like right at the last base to capture. You could do this by going to the certain, you can do it by going to the staging area, and it triggers on its own, and you get to activate this, and it's pretty neat to see your character jump on a horse and all the soldiers go rushing in. And if you want to jump off the horse at any moment, you can do that, and you can just like run in with the troops. It's really cool, it's really dynamic, and it works really well. Like, that's something that really surprised me, is how hype and how interesting they just made everything feel in Dynasty Warriors Origins. And then there are tactics during these like big rushes, but whenever the rush ends, there is just this huge crowd of enemies and allies just all fighting each other at the same time. It is super dense with characters, it's super hype. Everyone's fighting, everyone's like, they're just like troops flying everywhere. Every attack you do just like is hitting people. It's really cool, and there's enemy commanders just like sprinkled throughout this crazy battle, and it's up to you to like find them and navigate them between these like massive swarm of characters. Really hype stuff, really cool, really interesting. And when the battle's over, all the characters start cheering and like yeah, and it's just like, it feels super good to play. It felt really good and rewarding to play. Another cool thing that I don't think we've seen in the trailers is duels. If you do certain things in the battle, you can trigger a duel where a single big enemy commander will come out, and then you'll have to fight them one-on-one. And there's like troops that make a ring of troops around you, and they get like a health bar at the top, so it kind of becomes like a one-on-one fighting game almost. And you have to like, of course, parry and dodge and do all the good stuff to take out this enemy commander. In the demo, this duel was triggered by getting 1000 KOs. And the demo also had like a secret condition where you can fight Lu Bu. I wasn't sure what the condition was for it, so maybe it wasn't a Yellow Turbans battle. Maybe it was a Hulao Gate battle. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But yeah, the duel is really cool. Once again, it's just another thing that really serves to make the battles really hype and dynamic. But other than that, that was about it for the demo. Yeah, it just kind of played like a very refined, very highly well-tuned, very focused Dynasty Warriors experience, which I don't think they've had in quite a while. It played well, it ran well, but at its core, it was the typical Dynasty Warriors experience. You mash buttons to do your combos. You go mow your way through these like tiny squads of enemies that kind of populate the area. You get to an enemy base, and that's when a huge swarm of enemy comes out, and you have to fight all the enemies, and then fight a commander, and then you take control of the base, and then you move on to the next one. Maybe it was just this battle in the demo, but everything felt like it was moving quite fast as well. I took down an enemy base, and then I had like the option of going in basically 3 different directions, and then one guy was like, one of my allies was getting his butt kicked, another one was getting invaded from the very far north, and one of them on the right was like just kind of pushing ahead. It felt like the stuff that usually happens in a Dynasty Warriors map, but it all felt a lot faster and more important and more significant. And it feels like they just kind of figured out the formula of pushing the player along in a way that makes sense, but also giving them the option. It was like, hey, if you go over here, this character over in the other direction is probably not going to make it. So it felt significant in that characters were dying, like my allied characters were dying, and it felt like I had to make choices and decide where I was going to go, and how fast I was going to get there. Was I going to like stop and kind of clear troops out, or was I just going to go straight beeline for the base? Then I had to break the base door down, and it's like all of this stuff just felt more significant, and it made Dynasty Warriors feel good. It felt good to play. But once again, I don't think this is going to change Dynasty Warriors haters fans. Dynasty Warrior haters opinions is what I meant to say. But it will satisfy Dynasty Warriors fans, because I think this game is going to be the return to form that we have wanted, and I think have earned at this point. And I don't know about how big the ratio of using like the well-known characters is versus the character that is new and the new protagonist that is kind of like unnamed. I don't know what the ratio is of will we be able to play a full battle as Guan Yu, or will we only be able to summon him, or will we unlock stages and then we can do those stages entirely as those named characters. I don't know what this setup is yet. I also didn't get to check out the map, which lets you go to town and check out battles to battles, because it was just the one battle and that was all the demo was. And didn't get to check out buying new weapons and all that good stuff. It does seem like the weapons will have like slots for abilities and stuff, so all the classic stuff is going to be here. But yeah, that is basically it. You do get to choose a companion in the battle, in the demo, and I chose Xiao Dun, and I was able to summon him and run around the battle with him for like a little bit. That was cool. But yeah, we don't know much more than that. They've shown gameplay, and some of the finer details of the gameplay hasn't been revealed, but we have seen that it is pretty cool and it is pretty dynamic. I'm hoping that this game is as good as it felt like the demo was, because I left the demo very positive on this game. Like I said, I play Dynasty Warriors every now and then, but I don't go all in on the franchise. I don't buy every entry. I don't want to. And so this one felt good to just jump in and be like, you know what, I'm gonna try this out, I'm gonna try this demo. And then being rewarded with like, oh, that was actually pretty good. I'm actually interested in this now. So we'll see how it shapes up. It does have several more months before release. It has like 4 months before release. So we'll see how it shapes up. They're revealing characters. I think there was some concern that the cast in this game was going to be smaller than previous entries, because I think they've gotten up to like 150 plus at this point. And it does seem like they're going to be maybe dialing back some of the characters that just kind of haven't really done anything, and maybe focusing in on characters that we all know and love. And some of them have gotten some pretty significant visual reworks, but some of them have looked pretty similar. Like I think Liu Bei looks quite different this time around, and I think they revealed Gan Ning recently, and he kind of went from like, I don't know, he went from like someone who looked like a stage play actor to someone who looks like they were in the Ryu no Gotoku games, like the Yakuza games. So pretty cool stuff. Keep it locked here for more Dynasty Warriors Origins stuff. I'm probably going to play it when it comes out unless I hear anything bad about it or its ports or its various versions. But yeah, I played it. Sorry I didn't get too much footage of it on my own because a lot of booths didn't really take to people like pulling out a phone and recording the screen, or a lot of them didn't have B-roll footage or let you record footage. Some of them did, and that was great. But anyway, I've been Brian at Valkerion Gaming. If you like this video, please like, sub, hit the bell for notifications, and hopefully I'll have some more videos coming out soon. Kind of got off track after TGS. Things at work picked up, and yeah. I've been struggling to find a new game to play for the next review, but we'll see. I might review Astrobot or something. I recorded an Astrobot review and I didn't like it because I was sick when I did it, but keep it locked here for more gaming content and news, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye!